Guess what? Your girl is unemployed because she got laid off last Friday from her job that she worked at for 1.5 years. I want to make this video to kind of give tips on how to stay optimistic, at least as an ambitious 20-something-year-old who didn't expect this to happen to them. I want to preface by saying I've had years of mental professional help. So I've gone to therapy, I've seen doctors, I actually take 2 medications right now for my mental well-being. And those definitely play a big part in why I'm so mentally well. Like, your girl would not be this happy on a rainy Thursday unemployed. You may not attain my degree of optimism by the end of this video, but you might turn out a little bit more hopeful than when you started watching this. So the first thing I think you have to keep in mind when going through this period of life is that abundance does not go away in the face of rejection. What I mean by that is just because you were rejected from jobs doesn't mean you are never going to get a job and there's no job out there for you. You've probably already heard the phrase, but rejection is just redirection and protection. Abundance is a reality that we live in. A lot of people haven't discovered that that's a reality we live in. I only discovered it recently within the past 2 years because of the internet. But when you have an abundance mindset, you believe that the world will always give you what you need, and that if you were passed up one moment, you won't be passed up the next moment. There's always going to be something there for you. There's space for you. There's things for you. And because life is like the cyclical thing that constantly moves and never ends, can't say someone will not ever get something they want. So take advantage of the fact that it's always a possibility. Believe in yourself even when you have been rejected. Tip number 2 is there's no way to achieve success without rejection. Rejection is part of that journey. No matter how much it looks like it isn't for other people, it is. They're just not talking about it. You have to be rejected from some things that you want and get molded into a new person with new wants in order to get to this place you want to be. And in the end, it builds character. It's not for nothing. 3, I think you should open up your mind about what you see as success, because initially you see getting rejected as a failure and I'm not successful anymore and everything I've worked for means nothing. No, just open it up. Maybe success doesn't mean living in a 2,300 square foot house with a 85K job and a dog and 2 cats. Maybe success can't mean that anymore. Maybe success means I can afford to pay my rent, my groceries, and to put down a down payment on a new car. At least that's what happened for me. I had to change my definition of success because initially I was like that first example where I thought I had to make so much money and be living in a certain type of lifestyle aesthetic in order to feel successful. But now I feel successful living in an apartment with my girlfriend, my cat, unemployed with a little bit of money in my bank account, and just a lot of hopes and dreams and ideas for the future. 4, you can only receive your dreams if you actionably believe in them. So honestly, this relates to what I've already said, which is that there's abundance out there. Some people are going to say give up on your dreams. Some people are going to say stop being hopeful. I don't believe in that. That doesn't make sense to me because, well, if you at least do actionable things to try to get there, aren't you going to end up closer than you would have if you didn't even try? I think it's worth it to take actionable steps towards your dreams and your goals, regardless of whether or not they have to kind of morph, change, and develop into something else over time. I think I'm on my 4th or 5th tip. You don't have a job because of supply and demand, not because of your value. It's supply and demand. All it takes is companies being afraid to hire for you to not get hired. It doesn't mean that you weren't qualified. They're just not even looking for people who are qualified. They're looking for no one. Don't ever think that all the investing you've done in yourself, whether it be education and certificates and internships and previous jobs, don't think that those are going to waste just because right now we're in an economic downturn. Because that's the thing. People, they're trying to wade through a whole sea of people trying to decide who should they hire for what. You could be perfect candidate for the job, but you just don't meet one of the requirements on the application. They make this requirement because they think it'll help them find the correct candidate, but maybe the correct candidate doesn't actually have that particular qualification. So don't ever equate where the economy is at. Don't equate not getting the job that you know you deserve and you know you're qualified for. Don't equate that to your value because it's not the same thing. My final advice is that life is a sim game. We're all Sims. We can't take this shit too seriously. I remember I would play Sims and get super addicted for weeks or months at a time, and then I would drop off of it, come back, there'd be roaches in the place, the sim would be dirty, the cats would be unfed, shit was all over the place, and I felt so bad, oh my god. And then I literally just started tapping the screen, cleaning things up, and getting things right where they belonged, and it was better again. You can come back to the way it was before. Hey, so I'm back, but in an actual outfit with my hair kind of done. This is because, speak of the devil, I actually have an interview at 2:30 today. It's for a contract position that lasts 12 months, so it's not a full-time big girl job like I really need and want, but hey, it's something. Life has a cyclical way of working. When things get bad, they also will get good again. So those are my tips for staying positive. It's so funny because in the past when I was unemployed, I was severely depressed, even to point super slidle. I had just graduated from college and I put my whole worth of like who I am and everything I worked for the past 4 years into whether or not I got a good, stable job. But ever since I shifted my mindset and realized that living and being alive is not purely about that, it's about like all your other interests and things you enjoy and just literally being alive. My only reason why I'm not concerned with money is because I did get a little bit of a severance package with my company. They gave me $2,000 before tax. They're giving me the rest of my vacation pay, and I've applied to unemployment and been accepted, and I'm applying to food stamps and will probably be accepted. So definitely use those government resources. I don't know, maybe some people find shame in it, but I find pride in using the government resources because that's what they're there for. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I actually just made another advice video about friendship. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that, please go check out that video. Anyways, have a good one.